Irish guy, and what a nutty winter transfer window this has been. I'm gonna take a look at the weirdest worldwide football transfer that happened every day of January. And lads, oh, there's been some freaky ones. Right, let's go. First, Anthony Lopez to Nantes. I'm well aware I might be the only person on planet Earth who finds this one weird. You might think that former Portugal international goalkeeper Anthony Lopez swapping French clubs is about as wacky and interesting as a glass of orange juice. But to me, it is strange because the 34-year-old has been at Lyon since 2000. He was a Lyon player back when The Simpsons was still good, instead of nowadays where half the voice actors sound like they're recording each episode with a box of shreddies in their mouth. This man was Hugo Lloris's replacement when that future world champ quit for Spurs, and he went on to cram in nearly 500 games for the club. So to see him now join Nantes, I don't know, it looks a bit like if David Beckham were to dump his long-term wife to now shack up with Kermit the Frog. I haven't been so confused by a Nantes move since my uncle bought pink shoes. Second, Gift Orban to Hoffenheim. This transfer is a bit depressing because remember the stupid levels of hype surrounding Gift Orban 2 years ago? After smacking in 20 goals in 22 games for a Belgian side Ghent, in February 2023, he scored a Europa Conference League hat-trick inside 3 minutes and 25 seconds. The fastest ever treble scored in a UEFA competition. The Nigerian striker looked like the truth, and when he joined Lyon a year ago, after Spurs were heavily sniffing around, people were expecting this guy to become an absolute monster. Nah, he scored 3 league goals in a year and has now joined a struggling Hoffenheim for less than 10 million quid. I know it's still a move to the Bundesliga, but still, it's a bit weird. Third, Ben Godfrey to Ipswich Town. This was probably the most low-key Premier League transfer of the month. There was absolutely no fuss made about this one. So when Ben Godfrey actually squirmed his way onto the pitch to face Man City 2 weeks ago, you were probably all very confused. Wasn't he supposed to be in Italy? It's like Ipswich were embarrassed to be signing this centre-back. It's a bit like how you probably wouldn't want it to be made public knowledge that you rented Legally Blonde last night, or that you ate dog food off your toothbrush. But yeah, after a completely anonymous 6 months at Atalanta, Everton rearranged for him to go to Ipswich instead. And he lost 6-0 in his debut. Yelp! Fourth, Antonin Kinski to Tottenham. Out of every transfer in this list, this is the one nobody on earth would have predicted at Christmas. Absolutely not. Look, Spurs have a goalkeeping crisis. To such an extent, they had to give Brandon Austin his Premier League debut after 17 years at the club. Weirdly, he was actually given the Man of the Match award against Newcastle, and yet still, Postecoglou has made up his mind that this goalkeeper is less trustworthy than Vardy's wife, and so he's gone into the market to wrap up a £12.5 million deal for Slavia Prague's 21-year-old goalie Antonin Kinski. Look, this is weird, but I wanted it to be weirder. Like when Newcastle had a goalkeeping crisis, and so 2 years ago, plumped for a mega weirdo like Loris Karius after being turned down by Ben Foster. Yes, the YouTuber Ben Foster. That was proper weird. So this, I'd have liked to see if Spurs wrap up an emergency loan deal for, I don't know, the return of Lloris. Wouldn't that have been fun? Fifth, Marcelo Pitaluga to Fluminense. Okay, this one isn't actually weird at all. What's weird about this deal is that it's not weird. I don't know about you, but I was finding Liverpool goalkeeper Marcelo Pitaluga's career so refreshingly odd. It was like looking at a Black Mirror episode. Looking at his Wikipedia page was like watching a Tim Burton film, because this 22-year-old was marketed as being the next Alisson, right? He joined Liverpool from Fluminense in 2020, was supposed to be utter class, and then we saw this former Brazil under-17 international getting loaned out to play for Macclesfield in the conference, St. Patrick's Athletic in Ireland, and most recently, Livingston in Scotland. By the way, he couldn't get into the teams in Ireland or Scotland. And so yeah, Liverpool have seen enough. Just sent back to Fluminense for free, which is kind of sad, because I wanted to see another freaky loan move for the guy. Like, what is weirder than seeing a Brazilian goalie at St. Pat's? I wanted to see Liverpool loan him out to, I don't know, a team of penguins in the North Pole. But now it's just boring back to Brazil. Sixth, Isaac Hayden to Portsmouth. Newcastle have loaned out Isaac Hayden again. Can nobody get a buyer for this guy? Seventh, Luis Felipe to Marseille. I don't know, is this that weird? Nothing much happened the first week of January, as you can tell. So yeah, I guess 27-year-old Italy international centre-back Luis Felipe joined Marseille for free after 2 years at Moneybags Al Ittihad. Lads, we're seeing a lot of people quit that league this month, just like how the Chinese bubble burst. Are people giving up in Saudi already? Eighth, Bryce Samba to Rennes. Okay, it's not that weird, but remember when French goalie Bryce Samba ditched the Nottingham Forest project after promotion to go running back to France? But he since got into the France squad, so the moves worked out well for him. But here he is switching from Lens to Rennes. I wonder, does he look across the pond at Matt Sells, hunting down European football with Nottingham Forest, and just feel a little bit jealous? But don't worry, Bryce, Forest aren't getting Europe. Ninth, Sebastian Haller to Utrecht. I know Sebastian Haller has had big problems, okay? But I don't know. When he left West Ham, he went nuts, scoring 34 goals in 41 games for Ajax, almost winning the Champions League Golden Boot. So to now see him have a 0-goal loan spell at Leganes in Spain, and now he's at Utrecht on loan, seems a little bit weird. I thought he was better than this. 10th, Philip Billing to Napoli. Philip Billing plays for Napoli. Philip Billing actually plays for Napoli. Doesn't this transfer just blow you away? Antonio Conte asking Bournemouth to borrow this Cherries bench warmer. It's almost as weird as that time he bought Danny Drinkwater for Chelsea for nearly £40 million. Conte is an amazing coach, but wow, he sure doesn't have by weird. He's like that type of unhinged creep you see lurking around Tesco's with a trolley full of Peppa Pig toys, gone off bananas and cat food, even though you know he doesn't have a cat. Come on, is he really trying to win Napoli the Serie A League title with a potential midfield of McTominay, Billing and Billy Gilmore? I'm so confused by this one. 11th, Maxime Caqueret to Como. The pull of Cesc Fabregas is freakishly huge. I know Lyon need to get money through the door and had to sell, but still, Maxime Caqueret was this generation's Goalkeeper, a homegrown top dollar up and coming megastar. He's been on the Lyon side since he was a teen, so to see him finally quit the club after 13 years for Como in Italy, it's strange. Como play in a 13,000 seater stadium, but hey, they've got the richest owners in Italian football. Thierry Henry has a share in the club. They got Fabregas at the wheel. This is a proper Hollywood club. So I don't know, this would be like in 2 years time seeing Wrexham buying James McAtee. 12th, Ardian Ibrahimovic to Lazio. Okay, nothing really weird happened on the 12th, because Lazio taking Bayern Munich's 19-year-old winger on loan is nothing strange, really. No, I'm just putting this one on here though because of his name. There are certain legendary names that should be copyrighted. Ibrahimovic is one of them. To hear that now there's another one out there, and he's not even his cousin or anything, and is a homegrown German star, it feels strange. I don't know, it just feels like if you got served a sausage roll in Greg's by someone called Hercules. The name Ibrahimovic has an aura. This guy better be good. 13th, Max Aarons to Valencia. Finally, Max Aarons has got his La Liga dream. Back when he was a Norwich City right back whiz kid, he had Barcelona knocking on his door. Fast forward 4 years and he's a Bournemouth outcast. The man was probably devastated that Nou Camp dream move had been crushed by the Norwich City board. He was probably having to be restrained by his agent, trying to sneak poison into one of Delia's scones. But hey, the 25-year-old has now joined big boy Valencia on loan. Valencia, who are bottom of the league and who just robbed a manager from West Brom. On paper, he's joining a European giant because they were in the Champions League final the year he was born, but in reality, he's also walking into a terrible team. This must feel so strange to him. It's been like a young woman finally getting to marry Brad Pitt, but he's now 97 and looks like your pumpkin from last Halloween. 14th, James Rodriguez to Lyon. I always find it strange to see James Rodriguez on the move because, well, this former Colombia rock star has turned into an unashamed journeyman. This former £70 million Galactico is now onto his 12th club of his professional career and his 6th since quitting Real Madrid for good 5 years ago. Ever since he left the Burnabout, he's looked like a sad, lost little puppy. He's like that desperate friend of your mum's who's had 7 boyfriends since lockdown alone. But yeah, after just 6 games at Real Vallecano, he's given up on that Spanish return, terminated his contract after just 4 months, and yeah, is now in Mexico with Lyon. But I mean, don't get used to seeing him in a Lyon shirt. Oh no, I'm sure I'll be on the move again in the summer. Such a journeyman. He's turned into Kevin Prince Boateng so fast, I didn't have time to notice. 15th, Jaden Philligan to Ipswich Town. Yeah, this deal was about to be done last summer, only for Aston Villa to run in like a jealous ex and bring back their former player from Hull, pinching him from under the noses of Ipswich. 6 months later, and they've sold him themselves to Ipswich for 50 mil. It all seems like such a waste of time. 16th, Kvicha Kravča to PSG. Look, I shouldn't be surprised because Kvicha Kravča is swapping Napoli for PSG mid-season, quadrupling his wages. He's now on a ludicrous £370,000 a week. So this £50 million transfer shouldn't look that weird, but I don't know. Could the Georgian not have waited until the summer? Wouldn't another Serie A title with Napoli mean more than the meaningless League One medal he's gonna get in May? Taking Napoli from 10th to 1st, that's like some Maradona move. So honestly, winning that medal at PSG instead is gonna be about as exciting as eating a spoonful of strawberry jam. I don't know, I think leaving Napoli midway through this dream season is a little weird. I mean, like if Trent Alexander-Arnold were to go to Real Madrid now. Wait! 17th Roman essay to Crystal Palace. I'm sure this former Millwall attacking midfielder is a decent little player, but come on, Crystal Palace. You choosing to pay £15 million for someone literally named Essay, another saucy attacking midfielder with a name almost identical to your best player? Oh, that's not going to be confusing at all. I'm betting commentators up and down the nation are secretly cursing Steve Parish in between angry mouthfuls of Cheerios. 18th Dele Alli to Como. Lads, I am mildly impressed and a little relieved by this transfer move because Dele Alli's career is being wedged in a big massive hole. A free transfer move to Como to play in Serie A? I don't care that their stadium is no bigger than Troy Deeney's fridge. This move is more than he deserves right now. Seriously, because the man has barely played a minute of football in the last 3 years. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised he didn't just give up and retire at 28 because he has picked up so many injuries over and over again. Honestly, he must snap his hamstring just trying to unpeel a Kit Kat in bed. So convincing Fabregas to sign him, that is mega impressive because I would have guessed that his next move would be back to MK Dons. To have somehow wrangled that glamour move, it's a little nuts. Especially considering Fabregas probably has Mourinho in his phone book, and surely he must have rang up Josie to ask what Ali was like, and we all know from the Amazon documentary, Mourinho wasn't a big fan. So I'm amazed this move has gone through. 19th, Ben Barrett and Diaz to Sheffield United. We saw this exact transfer a year ago. 20th, Matt Ryan to Lons. I can't get over how strange Matt Ryan's career is. This nothing special, 32-year-old Australia international goalkeeper. Has already played in Australia, obviously, but Belgium, Spain, England, Denmark, Holland, Italy, and now, after just one game for Roma, this former Arsenal goalie, don't forget, has just joined Lens to add France to his list. One thing I'll say for this guy, he must have a very understanding wife. He's been dragging his family across the globe for yonks. After probably forcing the whole family to have daily Italian lessons for months, they've now thrown it in the bin to go and eat croissants in France. 21st, Maxwell Cornet to Genoa. Yeah, here we have Ivorian international winger Maxwell Cornet leaving West Ham for Genoa on loan. After an absolutely disastrous loan spell at Southampton, again, a bit like Delhi, this feels like way more than he deserves because he's been an absolute disaster buy for West Ham. He scored 1 goal in 3 years. He's done nothing since Burnley were relegated 3 years ago. He was a total joke at the Saints, with Russell Martin leaving him out of 14 matchday squads, so his attitude must have been horrible. And yet he's now joining a mid-table Serie A side, where he gets to work under a complete football legend like Patrick Vieira. I don't know, this move feels very generous for the guy. He even gets to chill with a superstar like Mario Balotelli. How did he fluke this? Because honestly, what he deserves is probably Sheffield Wednesday. 22nd, Wilfred Zaha to Charlotte FC. Oh, Wilfred Zaha. Oh, dear. Go back to the summer of 2023, and this Ivorian superstar had a £200,000 a week offer on the table to continue playing for Crystal Palace until 2027. He said no, joining Galatasaray instead. He failed there, did nothing on loan at Lyon, and now, at 32 years of age, he's joining Charlotte FC in the MLS to play under Dean Smith. What is it with this guy and his depressing loan moves that are so beneath his level? Don't forget, when he was just 21 years of age and one of the biggest talents in England, he was getting relegated on loan at Cardiff City. 18 months earlier, he'd been signed by Sir Alex Ferguson. Now he's getting told what to do by a human lollipop like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This man spent so long trying to get out of Sellers Park, but now, I think he would eat his earlobe off to reverse time and say yes to that fat new 200k a week deal. This guy has always felt like someone who wanted to be treated like a megastar. That's why he was so quick to ditch England for the Ivory Coast. Well, over in America, he's gonna get asked for less selfies than that dead pigeon on your lawn. 23rd, Julio Enciso to Ipswich Town. This is so very random because it's only 5 minutes ago that Julio Enciso was the next sparkling South American baller in the Brighton team, bagging wonder goals every month. Then he has a big injury, sure, but to now be loaned out to Ipswich, this feels like a huge signing for Kieran McKenna. Enciso feels like he is levels above Ipswich. Price of wasn't he on Man City shopping list like a year ago? This is a huge coup. This is as weird as when Ipswich signed Giovanni Dos Santos on loan. You know, someone who was supposed to be the future Ronaldinho. Honestly, lads, it's just as weird. 24th, Andrew Omababadeli to Strasbourg. Look, I know that Strasbourg are the most un-French looking Ligue 1 team right now. Come on, they're owned by Todd Bowley. They've got Liam Rossinier as manager. They don't feel very stereotypically French, so maybe this shouldn't look that weird, but I don't know. I found it a little freaky seeing Cork boy Jake O'Brien representing Lyon in League 1 last season, and now we've got Kildare's finest centre-back, Andrew Omababadeli, getting a loan move from Nottingham Forest to Strasbourg. It's gonna look a little odd seeing another Ireland international defender playing against the likes of Monaco and PSG. It's a bit weird. 25th, Kyle Walker, AC Milan. Why? Why? This feels so unnecessary. Kyle Walker choosing to call time in his Premier League career at the age of 34 is fine, but I would have assumed that when he eventually left Man City, it would be because he would have received a gigantic £1 million a week deal to play for Al Nassr. But joining AC Milan on loan seems very meh. It's like big players like Walker remember what Milan used to be when he was growing up, but look around you. Milan have been average for years. You're gonna quickly realize that when you see your dressing room is filled with Prem rejects. This feels very strange. It's basically Walker, the greatest ever Premier League right back, lowering himself to the levels of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. 26th Anthony Real Betis, £85 million. 2 years later, and he's getting loaned to Real Betis. This is just very, very sad. 27th, Jota to Celtic. Well, this all seems very anticlimactic. It was only 18 months ago that Celtic's Portuguese winger Jota, their goal-scoring winger, quit the club just 1 year after joining from Benfica, tying up a silly and greedy £25 million move to Al Ittihad at just 23. He never really got in the side under Nuno Santo, which is embarrassing, sitting on the bench in a stadium where there are so few fans you can actually hear the referee cough. He instead joins Rennes in August, was frozen out of the first team by Jorge Sampaoli, and now he's back at Celtic for 10 million quid in a swap deal with Kyogo Furuhashi. Celtic fans, are you sure about taking him back? Considering he swapped European nights at your magical ground for a quick hollow dollar in Saudi. Just 18 months ago, 20th, Emiliano Buendia to Bayer Leverkusen. This is an unbelievable move for Emiliano Buendia. This forgotten Argentinian playmaker has been an injury-riddled lump at Villa Park, and all the rumours were how this former Norwich star was going to have to dip his toes back into the championship with Leeds. No. Instead, he's actually joining the German champions on loan. Xabi Alonso snapped him up, borrowing him until the end of the season. This is some move for a guy whose career was another free fall. Seriously. How has he managed this? 29th, Milan Skriniar to Fenerbahce. So let me get this straight. In just 1 week, Jose Mourinho has managed to sign both Diego Carlos from Aston Villa and now a loan deal for PSG Slovakian monster centre-back Milan Skriniar. Somebody who was an absolute complete Inter Milan rock star at the back just 2 years ago. This is an insane defensive makeover, and I'm sorry, but a centre-back pairing of Carlos and Skriniar is scary. That might just be the most intimidating looking centre-back pairing Mourinho has ever created. They look like angry nightclub bouncers. But honestly, what a deal for Fenerbahce. 30th, Mickey Almiron to Atlanta United. Okay, maybe it's not that strange actually, but let's mention 30-year-old Paraguay international winger Mickey Almiron getting a move back to Atlanta United 6 years after leaving them for Newcastle in a club record deal. I know he's a frustrating winger who's only got 1 foot, but this still seems like a wonderful coup for the MLS. He's only 30. Could he not have found a mid-table club in Spain? Surely that would suit him enough, like a Girona or something. Going back to retirement land in America, I feel this transfer is coming a little too soon in his career, no? 31st, Arthur Melo to Girona. I know what you're thinking. Does this guy still exist? Anyway, that's the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Alright, what transfer was the weirdest one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.